You know, a couple months ago, life was kind of normal, but since the start of the pandemic, we have seen a dramatic escalation of authoritarianism. And I would like to see some higher level politicians step in and shut this stuff down. First, check out this video. Throwing riders off a bus for not having masks, even though masks aren't a requirement, and one dude's even wearing a mask, just not the right kind of mask. But I want to tell you what's really scary, probably the reason why you clicked this video. Anthony Fauci. Coronavirus immunity cards for Americans are being discussed. The proposal, already being implemented by German researchers, is under consideration in the United Kingdom and Italy. No dice, no way. You ain't gonna make me carry around any more papers. I mean, listen. They say papers, please. That's the old trope. Let's be honest. We carry around our IDs as it is. So yeah, they already do it to us. Show us your ID. We saw a story of a guy getting detained because he said no. We don't have to, for the most part. Sometimes they make you do it. Let's stop. Let's draw the line right now. Welcome to the nightmare dystopia. Let me walk you through how insane things are getting. I'm going to show you this clip just a little bit. We see this guy. I don't know who he is. I think he's maybe a cop. He starts yelling to people, if you're not wearing a mask, you got to get off the bus. Check this out. This dude right here, he's wearing some kind of mask. It's not a surgical mask. Someone in the back's got a scarf on. He says, I don't care. Get out. Then we get this. Check this out. This is in Philadelphia. Police are pulling a dude out of the bus. And what do people say in response to this? Well, the dude should have just done what he was told and listened to the police. He didn't break any laws. It's not actually a requirement to wear a mask. This is arbitrary enforcement by overzealous cops who don't know what they're doing and don't pay attention. Check this out. Logged in message. Passengers are not required to wear masks to ride the bus. Passengers can ride the bus with or without a mask. Then why did all these cops show up and drag a dude off the bus? And where is everybody else telling them to stop? Where are the politicians? Where are the federal level politicians? You know what? The Democrats want to talk about police brutality and all that stuff. Well, looky here. We got what looks to be a marginalized person being pulled off a bus by a bunch of white cops. All of a sudden, zip, everybody's quiet. Why? Because they like the authoritarianism when it benefits them or when it's their district and they're in power. I want to see somebody come out and condemn this. Now, I'm not seriously saying it's about race. I'm saying you'd think they'd come out first and foremost and say, you can't do this. You can't. And we shouldn't allow them to do it. Check out what's going on at these stores. Michigan is forcing Walmart, Costco, and Target and others to shut down parts of their stores and stop selling non-essential items. I saw a viral post. It was a seed rack, seeds for growing vegetables. And it said, you can't buy it, non-essential items. You can't grow your own food. I don't know what they're saying necessarily here, but who's to determine what's essential and what isn't? What if I need a shovel? You're going to tell me I can't buy a shovel? What's non-essential? What if we need entertainment? What if we're getting stir crazy? Cabin fever. The kids need a board game. Is board game not essential? Who are you to decide? Why are we sitting back and allowing these governors and politicians to enact a law by decree? Why are we going to sit back and let cops enforce laws that don't exist arbitrarily? Take a look at this. Gretchen Whitmer issued a new stay-at-home order on Thursday that bars large stores like Walmart, Costco, and Target from selling non-essential items such as plants, furniture, paint, and more. If you're not buying food or medicine or other essential items, you should not be going to the store. With the order, Michigan joins Vermont and a number of local governments that have taken similar measures, prompting stores to rope off aisles and bar certain purchases. Are you all insane? Who cares if someone's going to buy a birthday card? That's the first thing they did. They said, you'll still be able to go outside, go exercise. And I'm already reading stories about people going for a walk and the cops being like, hey, go home. People in South Jersey being arrested. This stuff is sweeping the country and we cannot tolerate it. You want to tell us to stay home? I'm cool with that. No beef. We're going to do right by the rest, our community. We're going to do right to make sure we beat this thing. You want to start telling people they can't buy something when they're at the store? That makes literally no sense. You want to rip people off a bus? That makes no sense. Ron Paul had some choice words. Ron Paul claims Dr. Fauci wants total control of the public, pushing outlandish coronavirus conspiracy as officials receive death threats. I certainly don't think Fauci is a megalomaniac who wants total control. I think he's a doctor and he's telling us what he thinks. So Ron Paul maybe goes a little over the top. I like Ron Paul. I like Rand Paul. I like people who like freedom. All right. I don't agree with them. I think he's a little over the top here. They say Ron Paul, the physician and former Texas congressman who launched two unsuccessful Republican presidential campaigns, has pushed unfounded conspiracy theories about the novel coronavirus, as well as leading experts. Dr. Fauci of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease, yada, yada. We get it. Ron Paul went on to suggest the coronavirus pandemic was an excuse to have total control over the people, while calling on Donald Trump to fire Fauci from the head of the U.S. Institute and White House task force. As this one goes away, they'll come up with another one, the former congressman said about the novel virus. It's an excuse to have total control over the people. People have to quit listening to Dr. Fauci, he continued. I don't agree with that at all. All right. I like Ron Paul for being a freedom-minded guy. Dr. Fauci is not the problem. The problem is we are seeing arbitrary enforcement, overzealous politicians. Now, there's a big challenge right now. Do you listen? Do you resist? What's the right thing to do? I don't know. I'm not here to tell you what your morals should be. I'll tell you this, though. I'm absolutely okay staying home. I'm not going to the store anyway, so I'm not going to end up buying a birthday card or a can of paint, even though, they're roping it off. But I got to say, it's getting increasingly worrying, and there will be a line. We'll see what happens. You can't just keep doing this. You can't tell people they need to get an antibody test and then carry around immunity cards. We are seeing such a rapid lurch towards authoritarianism. And the funny thing is, it's the left-wing sites that are defending it. It's the Independent calling Ron Paul a crazy conspiracy theorist, defending these policies. And, look, I'm in the middle. I don't think it's Fauci's fault that he's going to come out and he's going to tell us that, we've got serious problems. But where are people to call out what's going on in Philly? What about, I think it's fair to point out everyone kind of collectively freaked out when that paddleboarder got arrested. But this right here, immunity cards, is quite possibly the most nightmarish thing I've seen yet from Politico. Dr. Anthony Fauci, director, we know he is. He said they're considering issuing Americans certificates of immunity from the coronavirus as the Trump administration works to better identify those who have been infected and restart the U.S. economy in the coming weeks. That's possible, he told CNN's New Day when asked whether he could imagine a time when people across the country carry such forms of identification. How insane. I mean, it's one of those things that we talk about when we want to make sure that we know who the vulnerable people are and are not. He said, this is something that's being discussed. I think it might actually have some merit under certain circumstances. The proposal is contingent upon the widespread deployment of antibody tests, which the National Institutes of Health and the Food and Drug Administration are in the process of validating in the U.S., Fauci said. Within a period of a week or so, we're going to have a rather large number of tests that are available. The development of a comprehensive antibody testing system represents the next phase of the administration's efforts to reopen the country and begin reintegrating essential workers such as healthcare providers and first responders back into society. Although coronavirus testing thus far has been able to determine if an individual has an active infection, antibody tests report whether an asymptomatic person was previously infected but has since recovered, potentially allowing them to return to their jobs. I already see my friends carrying documents, carrying IDs, essential worker, I should be allowed to work. It's already worrying enough. I don't care if there's a pandemic. I don't care what your reason is. Our civil rights are our civil rights, and they're in the Constitution, America #1, right? Well, what about this? How far is too far? I don't know. I'll tell you what, though, we're getting dangerously close because sooner or later, YouTube will delete my channel for even talking about this. I'm sure they want me to say straight up, always just do whatever you're told, no matter what. Not going to fly. The Constitution is the law of this land, and it's already been infringed upon in many ways, especially right now. While I can respect and abide by the rules being put in place to keep us all safe, mandating people take tests, medical evaluations, to give them certificates to re-enter society, man, that's a step too far. Trying to enforce rules and laws that were never passed is a violation of our entire legal system. You cannot just arbitrarily decree that people must wear masks and then drag them off of buses or arrest them in parks, but they're doing it. How do you stop them from breaking the law? I don't know, but I'll tell you this. I'm sure YouTube will get mad at me for the things I'm saying, but let me just make one thing clear. It was the police officers who broke the law by dragging that man out of the bus. It would be Fauci. It would be these other governors who are breaking the law, not the American people who are minding their own business and buying the things they want and need. It's not up for you to decide. And if you try and get in the way of constitutional rights, it is you breaking the law. So I certainly think the American people must always follow the law, the principal law of this country, the Constitution. And there are limits within that based on the Supreme Court. They're in what capacity do these cops have the right to start dragging people off buses? As far as I'm concerned, with no statute being broken, with the official, statement that you don't have to wear a mask, it's just two individuals assaulting a man. Will something be done about it? I have no idea. Now, of course, we're going to see the media praise all of this stuff. I don't know what you can expect. Asked Thursday about various methods of monitoring Americans who have come into contact with those who are infected, Dr. Robert Redfield, director of the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, said, people are looking at all the different modern technology that could be brought to bear to make contact tracing more efficient and effective. Are there more, if you will, say, tech-savvy ways to be more comprehensive in contact tracing versus the old-fashioned way? Currently these things are under aggressive evaluation. Here's my prediction. We're dangerously close to them saying we must have the right to track you at all times, like they're doing in China. We're going to issue you a card and a code. If you leave this area, then you can't come back. They're actually saying in China, if you leave this area, your code is void because now you could be infected. I wouldn't go as far as Ron Paul to say that they're trying to use this, this is their excuses to take everything. I think dominoes fall over. I think power corrupts, power tends to corrupt, and absolute power tends to corrupt absolutely. We're dealing with a real crisis. We need to take responsibility and do the right thing. And we have all of these individuals who think they have a right to do, I'll just do this one thing. I think people shouldn't be allowed to be on a bus. You add them all together, you get an authoritarian state, and you don't want to live in that, trust me. I'll leave it there. Next segment's coming up in a few minutes, and I will see you all shortly.